I am here with Taylor Blackwell, who some of you might recognize from the fantastic series Resident Alien, but you're more than just an actor. You're a filmmaker, director, producer, musician, and I am envious because you can play the accordion. But it's you are at Cinequest with a short film called "It Happened," the Judy Tenuta story. So, why Judy?
Oh, Minute Man. Well, thank you for having me, and thanks for the kind intro. And I love Judy because she's a fellow accordion player. I was playing accordion for a few years when I came across her, and I love that she incorporated accordion into her comedy routine. It's a very fun tool. And I just love that she is so vibrant and herself. And for those who don't know, Judy Tenuta was a comedian. She passed away sadly a couple years ago, but she was just this amazing spitfire. And my film is about her. It's a mini biopic on her life.
Yeah, watching it this afternoon reminded me how much she made me laugh. Because I was in college in the '80s when she was uh, getting big. So uh, it's interesting you say a mini biopic. I mean, because it seems so perfectly encapsulating her life and so tautly. So
Thank you.
why that length instead of like go for a full?
Money. I mean, that's really the answer. I'd love to be able to tell her story even in a fuller capacity. I do feel that the film, it gives some nice broad strokes, but there would be so much more to explore potentially, as well as the fascinating world of comedy and moment in comedy that she sprung out of. But we had this opportunity to just kind of give you a little peek into her life and her career. And my hope is that the people who don't know Judy, they now become a fan. They maybe go and watch some of her comedy specials or her TV moments. And then the people who know her work, maybe brings back some memories of laughter she brought you.
So can you talk a little bit about the because I think like you still manage to hit the moments that people expect in a biopic, but in a kind of almost a surreal way. Like we see her grow as a child, going into college, trying to make it as an actor. I'm not sure how factual the things about like, picking up the accordion as part of the act necessarily are, but it seems very appropriate to the way she performed her act. So condensing all that down into about 12 minutes
Yeah.
is how where did you pick and choose and how did you decide I'm going to do it this way? And it's for people to watch again and again, which I think I probably will be doing, but anyway, go ahead.
A lot of it is truthful, and a lot of it comes directly the dialogue from her actual comedy specials, and then she had also published two books. So some of the things I say as I play Judy in the film, so some of the things I say as Judy were true Judy quotes. And I was lucky to have great source material and a lot to draw from. I I wanted to walk you through her life in a sense. And I touching on the surreal elements of it, I think that's a really can be a fun thing to play with biopics. I know they kind of tapped into that a little bit, well, very much so actually with the Weird Al Yankovic biopic. And Judy is very much in that universe. She was a collaborator of Weird Al's. So perhaps that was in my brain a little bit. But I really ran with the idea of the Pope, who was someone that she would often talk about in her comedy routines and she'd sing about, being this actual real fixture in her life and not just someone she's talking about who's in Italy, someone who's actually guiding her through her life. So that part of it was not true to the story, but I feel like
I'd hope not.
in essence it was.
Yeah. Oh, and I'd forgotten that line. I don't want to spoil it for people that don't know the comedy. The punchline as to why she's dating the Pope, I almost fell out of my chair. But it's good. I'm glad you brought that up because, of course, the Pope is being played by the fantastic Alan Tudyk, and you started. I mean, you were on Resident Alien playing his daughter, so changing that dynamic from acting alongside Alan Tudyk and then directing him as your fictional boyfriend.
Pretty wild. Yeah. I thankfully it would have been really weird if the Pope and the Judy relationship is extremely PG. Nothing happens at all, which would make sense for the Pope dating someone, I suppose. But yeah, it is a funny going from daughter to romantic interest is quite the jump for sure. But Alan is amazing, and there's nothing he can't do. He is so dynamic as a performer, and he just took this idea and ran with it. And it was, I think, the biggest challenge for me was just trying to stay in character and stay locked in without laughing because he's just so naturally funny.
I know, and I have this question then. Is there ever a moment when you say, Alan, back off just a little bit, tone it down? Or do you just say, okay, whatever, do it?
No, I mean, I think he understood the tone so well, and it was more just about playing with different ideas. But this story is pretty eccentric by nature that it's I mean, I think it does still have a thread of like feet on the ground, feeling like we're on Earth. This is the story of a real person, but it's the story of a person who is sort of larger than life.
Yeah, and you included, I think it was nice that you included Emo Phillips as an acknowledgement, because in my head I had linked them together as comedians for a couple of decades, and yet I could have been told without. So, and I think you gave a special thanks to Emo at the end too. So, talk about that connection. I mean, you were clearly also very connected to her family to get this made.
Yes. Yeah, well, first I'll say I was so grateful and lucky because Vern Payne, who was Judy's life partner and now runs her estate, he allowed me to use all her real costumes, her real accordion, which she had covered in beautiful stickers and her name written down the, for lack of a better word, spine of the accordion. And just having access to that was amazing. And then I had met her sister. I've been in touch over the phone with some of her brothers. She was one of 9 kids. She came from a very big family, and they've been all extremely sweet and supportive and have shown a lot of gratitude towards this project. So I appreciate that. And then Emo, I'm a tremendous fan of. I think he's the best. And I wish that was something I could have explored even further, because not only were Emo and Judy collaborators, but they actually were married at a point in time. So
okay, thank you. I thought I had convinced myself when she passed away and read that, I was like, no, her husband was Emo Phillips. And okay, thank you. A long-standing factoid is confirmed. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, and I really don't even know a whole lot about that union, because for two people who are comedians and on stage and in the public eye, they're Emo and Judy, I feel were fairly private. So I've been able to, now knowing Emo a little bit and having his blessing, to use his likeness for the film, and to have met him and corresponded, I've been able to squeeze a little bit of info out of him here and there about his life and him and Judy, but he keeps his cards close to the chest, and I respect it. But he's hysterical and a genius.
Excellent. So this short has been on the festival circuit a little bit, because you've gotten plaudits down in LA as well, right?
Mhm.
So, but you're playing at Cinequest this week. What's next for It Happened, the Judy Tenuta Story?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the fact that people are gonna be able to watch it online through CineJoy, which is the virtual component of CineQuest, which we haven't been able to do that up until this point, especially because if you are playing at film festivals, most of these film festivals, they don't want it to be available online. They want people to come into the theater and watch the film. Makes total sense. So for 1 week, not even a full week, I don't think, we're going to be March 24th through the 31st available to rent through CineJoy. So that's exciting for people who can't join us in person, that maybe they'll get to see it and rent it and support us. And then we're also playing the Poppy Jasper International Film Festival April 9th. And I've heard really wonderful things about that festival too. So much to look forward to. And then we're still waiting to hear about other festivals. There's one other I know about that I'm not able to announce yet, but hopefully many more to come.
Okay, put Judy Tenuta aside for a second. You are obviously a very assured filmmaker. Do you have plans for a feature that you'd like to get made? An
Oh,
original script.
many. Yeah. I hope this is just the beginning. But yeah, there's several projects that I'm actively working towards that I don't really have anything to say to you about them right now, but keep an eye out because I'm coming for you.
Yeah, okay. We have not heard the last from Taylor Blackwell,
Yeah.
and thank heavens, because it's a terrific short, and I
Thank
can't wait to
you.
see what you're doing next. So thank
Oh, I
you.
appreciate that. Thanks for your time.